Thinking about life on Mars again, how do you think about cultural unification, systems of government, rules of law, establishing those very early on?
Well, I think I was just declared king of Mars a moment ago.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah, thank
Run.
you. Thank you. Thank you. So I think most likely the form of government on Mars would be a direct democracy, not representative. So it would be people voting directly on issues.
What if Earth isn't enough for humanity's future? With growing problems like climate change, pollution, and running out of resources, Elon Musk thinks our survival might depend on making a new home on Mars. But what would it really take to live there? Mars has a harsh atmosphere, freezing temperatures, and almost no natural resources. Building a sustainable colony would mean creating energy from scratch, finding ways to grow food, and overcoming huge technical challenges. Is Musk's vision possible, or is it just a dream? Stick around as we explore the real possibilities and challenges of building a life on Mars. Why are we trying to escape Earth's problems? Earth is facing a multitude of crises that are impacting life as we know it. Global warming is causing rapid environmental changes, from polar ice melting to the rise in sea levels, while pollution harms both wildlife and human health. Resource depletion is another critical issue, with overpopulation pushing resources like clean water, food, and energy to the brink. As a result, the quality of life for many is deteriorating, and natural disasters, intensified by climate change, have become frequent and severe. Wildfires, floods, and storms are no longer rare events but constant threats. Looking at Earth's history, it's clear these problems could lead to significant consequences. Over millions of years, Earth has experienced 5 mass extinctions where most species were wiped out. The most famous of these led to the dinosaurs' disappearance, showing that dominant life forms aren't guaranteed survival. Some scientists warn that we could be on the brink of another extinction event due to environmental collapse, potentially within the next 100 to 200 years. This history drives the argument for seeking survival options beyond Earth to protect human civilization from these looming threats. What makes Mars so different from Earth? Mars is vastly different from Earth, particularly when it comes to its atmosphere. With an atmosphere composed of 95% carbon dioxide and only trace amounts of oxygen, Mars is uninhabitable for humans without significant technological support. While Earth has a breathable atmosphere with 21% oxygen, Mars would require anyone venturing outside to wear a specialized suit with oxygen supplies. Just a few minutes of exposure to Mars's air without protection would be fatal, highlighting the immense challenges for long-term human survival. Another challenge is Mars's exposure to radiation. Unlike Earth, which has a magnetic field protecting it from cosmic radiation, Mars lacks this natural shield. The planet's surface radiation levels are about 50 times higher than on Earth, which poses severe health risks, including DNA damage and increased cancer risk. To counteract this, habitats would need to be equipped with radiation shielding to protect inhabitants. Given these dangers, scientists are exploring advanced shielding technology to ensure safe living conditions. Those solutions are far from simple. The enormous challenges of building a Mars colony. Distance is a major challenge in establishing a Mars colony, as Mars is roughly 225 million kilometers away from Earth. At its closest, it takes spacecraft 8 to 9 months to travel from Earth to Mars, meaning trips would need meticulous planning. Additionally, launch windows, periods when the planets are aligned for optimal travel, only occur every 26 months, so timing is essential for both supply missions and transportation. The psychological effects of such long-distance travel and separation from Earth are still being studied, as long-term isolation could impact mental health and morale. Technological hurdles also loom large. SpaceX's Starship is the first vehicle aimed at carrying humans to Mars, but it is still in testing with multiple failed launches under its belt. Building reliable, fail-safe technology is a massive endeavor, and no interplanetary travel vehicle has yet reached the safety and dependability levels necessary for transporting civilians. Further, resources and materials would need to be shipped from Earth, which is costly and limited. To sustain a Martian colony, local resources would eventually have to replace Earth-supplied infrastructure, pushing scientists to explore mining Mars for building materials. Building a self-sustaining civilization on Mars. Food production on Mars would require innovative solutions, as Martian soil lacks the nutrients necessary for traditional farming. Without fertile soil, crops would need to grow in hydroponic systems, which involve growing plants without soil using mineral nutrient solutions in water. However, low sunlight and extreme cold present additional challenges. Researchers are also exploring lab-grown food and plant-based proteins as viable alternatives, making self-sustained food production a cornerstone of a lasting colony. Constructing safe habitats is another significant task. Mars's intense radiation and cold temperatures mean structures must be durable and insulating. Initial Martian habitats may consist of domes or underground facilities for added protection. Over time, cities could emerge on the Martian surface, equipped with energy-efficient heating and oxygen supply systems. But achieving these living conditions while considering the psychological and social needs of settlers will require significant technological and societal advances. This evolution of Martian infrastructure represents humanity's adaptability in the face of extreme challenges. Creating law and order on Mars. The idea of governance on Mars raises ethical and legal questions. Elon Musk has proposed a colony without strict laws, advocating for freedom on Mars. However, a law-free society has potential drawbacks, as any breakdown in cooperation could endanger everyone in a survival-based colony. Effective governance, balancing freedom with structure, would be essential to handle disputes, resource allocation, and collective decision-making. If Mars colonies are to be independent, they will need to set up their own laws and potentially declare independence from Earth-based governance. This raises questions about who enforces these laws and how. Should Martian society have Earth's governance, or does Mars deserve its own system? These questions challenge current ideas about governance and human rights in space, highlighting the complexities of establishing an ethical, functioning society on another planet. Why Mars could be humanity's backup. Mars offers a potential safety net if Earth's resources become too strained to sustain civilization. As Elon Musk and other advocates suggest, colonizing Mars is viewed as a safeguard for human survival. Creating a self-sufficient, long-lasting society on Mars would provide humanity with an alternative home, making human extinction less likely if Earth faces irreversible disaster. A successful Martian colony could ensure humanity's continuity even in the event of Earth's collapse. The idea of a backup civilization brings a new level of security to human existence. Though it may take decades or even centuries to establish, Mars would represent the first step in humanity's journey to becoming a multiplanetary species. From a survival standpoint, Mars may be our best shot at preserving life and knowledge beyond Earth's limitations, acting as a beacon of hope for humanity's expansion into the cosmos. Preparing for a multiplanetary future. Building a society on Mars isn't just about survival, it's about exploring the limits of human potential. Establishing a Martian colony will lead to technological advancements, cultural shifts, and scientific discoveries that redefine our understanding of space and civilization. The leap to Mars marks the beginning of a new chapter where humanity doesn't just survive but thrives across planets. With Mars as a foundation, humanity could look even farther, exploring moons and distant planets. Expanding our reach beyond Earth will require global collaboration, revolutionary technology, and a shared commitment to exploration. By settling on Mars, we set a precedent for exploration that could one day lead us to new solar systems. The possibilities are limitless, and Mars is the first step on a journey that could carry humanity into a future where the stars are within our reach. Creating sustainable energy and oxygen on Mars. Creating a self-sustaining energy system on Mars presents unique challenges. Mars receives only half the sunlight Earth does, which limits the efficiency of solar power, especially during the frequent dust storms that can obscure the sun for weeks at a time. Solar panels must be engineered to resist dust buildup and extreme cold, as well as to maximize energy absorption. Some scientists are also exploring nuclear energy as a potential solution, as it could provide a more consistent energy source for Martian habitats and technology. Another major hurdle is oxygen production. Mars's atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide with almost no free oxygen, making it unbreathable for humans. Scientists have begun testing technologies like the MOXIE experiment, which was part of NASA's Perseverance rover mission to convert CO2 into oxygen. While MOXIE produced small amounts of oxygen, future scaled-up versions would be needed to support a human colony. Developing efficient, reliable systems for oxygen generation is essential for long-term survival on Mars, as it would allow colonists to breathe and provide oxygen for rocket fuel. Water ice deposits on Mars offer a potential source for both water and oxygen. By extracting and electrolyzing water, settlers could produce oxygen for breathing and hydrogen for fuel. This process, however, requires significant energy and technical resources. Establishing a stable cycle for generating energy and oxygen on Mars is critical not only for daily life, but also for emergency situations. With energy, oxygen, and water systems in place, humans could begin building the foundational elements of a truly sustainable Martian society. The need for food production. Food production on Mars will require an overhaul of traditional farming methods, as Martian soil lacks the nutrients and organic material necessary for crop growth. Martian soil, known as regolith, is toxic to most plants and does not retain water well. To overcome this, scientists are exploring hydroponics and aeroponics, systems that allow plants to grow without soil using nutrient-rich water solutions or mist. These systems would allow crops to grow indoors, where temperature, humidity, and light can be controlled. Hydroponic farming on Mars would be crucial for producing fresh vegetables and other essential nutrients for colonists. Crops like potatoes, lettuce, and radishes have already been tested in simulated Martian conditions on Earth, showing promising results. Since food imports from Earth would be costly and infrequent, establishing a reliable food supply on Mars is necessary for both health and morale. Scientists are also investigating lab-grown proteins as a supplement to plant-based food sources, allowing Martians to have a balanced diet. Food production on Mars would represent a major step towards self-sufficiency. A sustainable agriculture system would provide settlers with essential nutrition while reducing dependence on Earth. Creating a balanced diet using a variety of crops and proteins could also support the mental well-being of Mars settlers, giving them a sense of normalcy in an otherwise extreme environment. If successful, Martian agriculture could not only support survival, but also improve the quality of life for long-term colonists. Constructing habitats for safe living on Mars. Building safe and habitable structures on Mars is one of the biggest challenges for colonization. Mars's thin atmosphere offers little protection from cosmic radiation, so habitats must be designed with radiation shielding to protect inhabitants. Early Martian habitats may rely on materials like polyethylene or regolith, the native Martian soil, as natural barriers against radiation. Some concepts suggest that habitats could be built partially underground or with thick outer walls to block harmful particles. Temperature control is also crucial, as Mars experiences extreme temperature swings, ranging from 125 degrees Celsius at night to 20 degrees Celsius during the day. Habitat insulation must be robust to keep warmth in and the cold out, while also providing ventilation. One approach is to create dome-like structures or interconnected pods that can maintain internal climates and withstand high winds and dust storms. Advanced life support systems would regulate air quality, moisture levels, and heat within the living spaces. For psychological well-being, Martian habitats will need to provide communal areas and private spaces, as prolonged isolation in confined environments can lead to mental health challenges. Designers are studying Earth-based analogs, such as the Antarctic research stations and the International Space Station, to understand how best to create comfortable living quarters. Creating a home-like atmosphere will help settlers adapt to life on Mars, reducing stress and supporting long-term habitation. The ethics of establishing a law-free Martian society. The idea of a law-free Martian society, advocated by figures like Elon Musk, raises significant ethical questions. While the appeal of starting fresh without restrictive laws may sound enticing, it could lead to unforeseen consequences. Laws provide structure and stability, which are essential in a high-stakes environment like Mars. Without legal protections, disagreements or resource conflicts could quickly escalate, especially when survival depends on cooperation. The absence of laws may foster independence, but also risks creating an unstable, potentially unsafe society. Some suggest that Earth-based laws should be adapted for Mars, providing essential rules while allowing flexibility for the new environment. This could include guidelines for resource sharing, personal safety, and emergency protocols. However, if Mars were to adopt laws independently from Earth, it could lead to the development of a distinct Martian culture with unique values and social norms. How the Martian society chooses to govern itself will ultimately shape its culture and identity. As more people settle on Mars, issues like crime, justice, and property rights are likely to arise. Establishing fair systems to address these will be essential for long-term harmony. Just as explorers created new governance models in the past, Mars settlers may have to invent their own framework of justice and order. This new society will need to balance freedom with responsibility, ensuring that the colony remains safe, cohesive, and sustainable for future generations, using Mars as a backup for humanity. The idea of Mars as a backup planet for humanity stems from the desire to secure the future of human civilization in case of a catastrophe on Earth. With threats like climate change, pandemics, and potential asteroid impacts, many see Mars as a valuable insurance policy for the survival of our species. Elon Musk and other advocates for Martian colonization argue that establishing a human presence on another planet could protect humanity from extinction, providing a fresh start in a worst-case scenario. Setting up a sustainable colony on Mars, however, would require solving countless logistical and technical challenges. From developing efficient food and water systems to addressing health and psychological needs, Mars must become a place where humans can live independently of Earth. The initial years of colonization would likely involve strong support from Earth, but a truly self-sustaining Martian society would be necessary for it to act as a reliable backup. Mars could be the beginning of humanity's journey toward a multi-planetary existence. If a colony is successful, it could pave the way for further exploration of the solar system and beyond. Rather than being an endpoint, Mars would become a stepping stone to other worlds, representing humanity's resilience and adaptability. Colonizing Mars would not only preserve our species, but could also inspire future generations to continue reaching for the stars. Living on Mars presents intense social and psychological challenges. The isolation from Earth, combined with the harsh, enclosed environment, could lead to feelings of loneliness and confinement among settlers. Studies on Earth, such as those conducted in Arctic research stations and simulated Mars habitats, show that prolonged isolation can impact mental health. Maintaining communication with Earth, establishing routines, and providing recreational spaces will be crucial to help settlers feel connected and fulfilled.
Let's start with Elon Musk. He had his record rocket ship go up for 4 minutes and then blow up. They're debating whether that's a setback or not. Are you long or short on Elon Musk making it to Mars?
Longer than I am on NASA. I think he may well get there, and I suspect if anybody gets there, it will be him.
Building a strong sense of community is essential for the success of a Martian colony. Social support systems, group activities, and shared goals can help foster a sense of belonging. Scientists are exploring ways to create environments that promote mental well-being, from virtual reality entertainment to indoor gardens that mimic nature. Even small touches, like personalized living quarters and group meals, can make a big difference in coping with isolation. Preparing settlers psychologically for the realities of life on Mars is a priority. Training programs would help future Martians handle the emotional and mental challenges of living on another planet. Resilience training, team building exercises, and support networks will be critical in building a robust and thriving community on Mars. Successfully addressing these social and psychological needs is key to ensuring that Martian society is as strong and enduring as it is innovative. Developing new technologies for a multiplanetary future. Establishing a colony on Mars will require groundbreaking new technologies. From advanced robotics for construction to bioengineering for food production, these innovations are necessary for survival in such a harsh environment. Developing reliable and cost-effective technologies to produce energy, water, and oxygen will be crucial, as will be refining spacecraft capable of safely transporting settlers. Researchers are also exploring materials that could withstand Mars's radiation and temperature extremes for future habitats. Robotic assistance could be essential in the construction and maintenance of Martian habitats, handling dangerous tasks and minimizing human risk. Autonomous rovers and drones could map terrain, locate resources, and even conduct repairs on equipment. Similarly, 3D printing technology is expected to play a big role, allowing settlers to create tools, spare parts, and even building materials using Martian resources. As technology advances, these developments will pave the way for more efficient and scalable systems on Mars. These advancements won't just benefit Mars colonists, they will also revolutionize technology on Earth. Techniques developed for growing food in extreme conditions, generating energy from limited sunlight, and recycling water will be valuable as Earth faces its own environmental challenges. Mars colonization will drive innovation, bringing solutions to problems faced by both planets and shaping a future where technology is integral to human survival and expansion. The possibility of terraforming Mars. Terraforming Mars, altering its environment to make it more Earth-like, is a concept that has fascinated scientists and science fiction fans alike. Theoretically, creating a thicker atmosphere, increasing temperatures, and introducing breathable air would allow humans to live without protective suits. Ideas for terraforming include releasing greenhouse gases to warm the planet or importing ice-rich asteroids to provide water. However, these processes would take centuries, if not millennia, to achieve measurable change, and they require technologies we have yet to develop. Creating an Earth-like atmosphere on Mars presents significant scientific and ethical challenges. For instance, Mars's low gravity makes it difficult to retain gases that would thicken the atmosphere. Additionally, any attempt to alter Mars's environment would fundamentally change its natural state, raising questions about humanity's right to modify another planet. Some argue that humanity should prioritize adapting to Mars as it is rather than trying to transform it to suit Earth-like conditions. While terraforming may be a distant goal, it symbolizes the long-term vision of making Mars a true second home. By exploring the potential of terraforming, we are forced to push the limits of our science, ethics, and imagination. Whether or not terraforming becomes feasible, it reflects our ambition to shape the universe in ways that ensure humanity's survival and growth, embodying the spirit of exploration and adaptability that has defined human history.